Welcome back to a ride in the country. We are not in the country right now, but we will be shortly. So today we have a special treat for you. We have received permission to borrow a Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, and we're going for a ride in the country in style. So as you know, I have three bikes really. I have a Yamaha 50cc scooter, I have a Honda CRF 250L, and I have a Royal Enfield Meteor 350. And an opportunity came up for me to test drive a Super Meteor 650, and I'm super excited about it. So we're on the 650 today, running it through its paces. There's a lot of things that immediately you notice. You're going from one cylinder to two. You're going from 350 cc's to 650 cc's. Going from 5 speeds to 6 speeds. And I'll put the weights down. I can't remember what the Meteor weighs, and I don't know what this weighs, but you're going from blank to blank. So it's heavier, but it's also more powerful. And the foot controls are a little bit farther forward, which I really don't mind. It's fine. It's actually pretty comfortable. I'm 6'4", and so it's kind of nice to be able to stretch out a little bit, and I feel like I'm just in the perfect seated position. Just feel comfortable. I love the sound of this engine. Dang, I mean, it's very different than the Meteor, but I love the sound of it. Just sounds powerful, confident, and quiet. It's not loud. I like it. It doesn't have those little burbles when you let off the gas and kind of let the engine brake. It doesn't burble like the 350. But yeah, it's cool. A lot more power, as you might imagine, and you know, it's got 6 gears, which is kind of funny. I don't know what my other bike would do with a 6th gear. It wouldn't know what to do with it, so you know, it doesn't really matter. I think I've heard so much about the Meteor that it's limited to 70 miles an hour. I don't even get close. Like, I've gone 60 maybe once. I just buzz around back lanes and don't go very fast. But this baby, I can tell it's got more. So I probably won't be testing that. Knowing myself, I just like to take it easy, and especially it's somebody else's bike, so I'm not going to be pushing it. But man, I'm enjoying this bike. It just feels like it's got more, you know, more go in it. And so, you know, right now I'm going 45, and it's perfectly content to go 45. The Meteor is too, you know. Just to set the scene a little bit, it's the beginning of July. It's a gorgeous day, 78 degrees, low humidity, nice breeze. The corn is in full growth mode, nice and tall, green. The corn around here is mostly feed corn, and so it will sit here till it's brown and dry, and it will be harvested then. So that'll probably be sometime in October or November. One thing that I didn't mention yet is this little tripper thing. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show you a close-up. It gives directions. You download the Royal Enfield app, and it's super easy. You put in your email, you pair it, it asks for a code, it pairs. It's so easy. And then it just uses Google Maps, so you just put in a spot, and it gives you direction. Now the directions are simplified. There's no map, but I can see right now I put in a road out here, and it's I'm gonna have to turn right in 1.4 miles, and my final destination is 6.6 miles. So it's nice. These chrome mirrors are pretty cool. The chrome pipes on the side, I like them. They look cool. This motor is smooth. I mean, really smooth. Like it. The suspension is supposed to be way better. I don't really notice it, to be honest. This has Showa upside down forks in the front. Supposed to be better. I don't notice much difference. I've driven over some bumpy spots that I always ride over, and they felt just as bumpy in this as they do on my Meteor. So I don't know. You know, when you ride a dual sport, I think you have just an exaggerated view of what suspension is supposed to do. On the dual sport, you know, I could drive over a curb and barely notice it. I mean, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but you know, that thing has a lot of suspension travel, and it smooths a lot of stuff out. You know, this, when I hit some bumps, it's like, ooh, that kind of went all the way up my back. So love the engine note. Did I mention that? One of the first turns that I had to make, I felt like it was a little harder to turn than the Meteor, and I'm gonna have to check the front wheel size. The front wheel might be different size. I think it's the same, but I felt like I couldn't quite, you know, cut the corner, and maybe it's longer. I don't know. I had to figure out what that was. It only happened once, and maybe it was just getting used to it. When I was pulling away from the dealership, of course, you know, they're lending you a brand new bike, so you're like, just don't look like an idiot. Install it or something. And it was just like smooth as butter. And I was like, wow. I mean, that was great. Because I didn't want to look like an idiot pulling away from the dealer. This video is not sponsored, but I do want to thank Matt Williams at Williams Vintage Cycles in Xenia for making this happen. I appreciate that, and I appreciate their support of the channel. Again, it's not a sponsorship deal. There's no money, you know, it's just a friendship and kindness. So thank you for the kindness, Matt. Appreciate it. Look at me shifting into 6th gear. It's funny, I'm looking at the tripper again, and it's telling me to turn left, and I'm gonna turn right. But you know, your GPS does that all the time too. I want to go a specific way. I want to stay on the back roads, and it's wanting to take me out to the main roads, so I'll just ignore it. It's a beautiful day. I don't know if any of you guys have a Meteor 350 and are thinking about moving up. I was afraid of it. I thought it would be too powerful. I thought it would be scary. You know, you hear all kinds of stories about people, you know, flipping their bikes and, you know, whatever. I mean, this thing is just plain comfortable. It really is. And it's not intimidating at all. I know, you know, I think the 350 is really a good first bike. Some people would start on this, and I think you could. It just depends on you. I think I would still get a 350 first. And then, you know, you can, a lot of people will buy the 350 and then move on up to the 650 after a year. So, hey, look at this. Did he get something? It looks like he did. You probably couldn't see him. There was a hawk And he looks like he got a mouse or something. Look at this view, huh? Dang. Soybeans, soybeans, as far as you can see. No cars. Beautiful sunny day. Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. Does it get much better? I don't know. It's pretty good. The obvious difference between the Meteor and the Super Meteor is the cost. And I'm going to say it's roughly $4,000 more. I can put the exact numbers on the screen, but you know, double the engine, double the cylinders, and you know, you're going to pay more for it. But this feels like a proper motorcycle. And you know, I've watched a lot of reviews on YouTube, and that's what a lot of the people say. They just call it a proper motorcycle, and I think it is, whatever that is, but that description just seems to fit. We'll stop here and do a little walk around. One of the things that I like about it is not only does it have a kickstand, but it also has a center stand. Some of you guys like that, and some of you don't. But I like a center stand for a lot of things. I like it for cleaning the chain. That's kind of the biggest one for me. But it's nice to store it, you know, straight up and down. I'm going to switch over to my cell phone for better views. She's a good looking bike. The spoke wheels, which I really like. This one's in black, and it's kind of a cool black. It's a metallic black, and so it has some metal flakes in it, which some of them are silver and some are blue, and I really like the way they look. I love the logo on the side there. I think it looks pretty darn cool. I like the Super Meteor logo. Of course, the rear Royal Enfield logo on the side. LED headlight. Forward controls. You can see chrome pipes on both sides. LED tail light. This is the basic model. They are offering a special edition that has a built-in windscreen, some saddlebags, the touring seat with a backrest, a bunch of accessories for a reduced price. That's the special that's going on right now by Royal Enfield. But I kind of like this basic model, but you know, some of those things are real nice. Nice to be able to have bags to carry stuff with you. And windshield to keep the wind off of you. So yeah, what do you think? It's good looking, right? All right, well, I thought I would jump back on my Meteor just for a little bit here, just to see you know, get a little perspective. Been riding the Super Meteor, and yeah, let's get back on the Meteor and remember what it's like. So first impression back on the Meteor is this thing is a lot lighter. I don't know, I gotta look at the weights, but it just doesn't feel like a beast, you know. It just feels a lot easier to handle, backing it out of the garage and just getting it going. You know, the burble of the engine, which, you know, I love, but you know, not as strong as the Super Meteor, obviously. The other thing to keep in mind is, you know, the Super Meteor is brand new, so I'm taking it really easy on it. Like, it's still in the break-in period, and still, my bike is still really in the break-in period because I only have about 1,800 miles. So I'm taking it easy on both. But yeah, comparison. I love this bike, the Meteor. Love it. Hey, if you're thinking of you know, if you have a Meteor and you're like, I wonder if I should get a Super Meteor, I think if you're thinking that, you should. It's better, you know, it definitely is better. So I'm back on the Super Meteor again, just comparing Meteor to Super Meteor, and immediately as soon as I'm on it, you notice the engine and the smoothness of the engine. Just spectacular, really. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I think the fatter rear tire also gives you a sense of security and stability. I can put the tire sizes up on the screen now, Meteor versus Super Meteor. The rear tire on the Super Meteor is Meteor. Another way of talking about the smoothness and the power and the torque is to say that it's just easier to go faster. And I don't mean that in a speed demon way. I just mean, like, I'm going 55, which I think is perfectly fine for this road in these conditions. But it doesn't feel like I'm stretching the bike, stretching myself. It just feels comfortable. And so I think that's one of the advantages of the bigger motor. I know they talk about this being better on the highway and the Meteor being better on back roads, but honestly this is just fine on backcountry roads. It really is. In practical terms, in the real world, what does power and torque look like? And to me, this section of road I'm about to ride through demonstrates it perfectly. So I'm in 4th gear now. I have a hill coming up. You can see the twisty sign and 30 miles per hour. So I'm going 40 right now. And I can roll down this hill in 4th gear on this bike. And I'm not going to gain a whole lot of speed. If I don't hit the throttle, it's going to engine brake me. I'm going 50 now. No, 40. Yeah, still 40. But then the big difference is I don't have to shift down. So you'll see here, I'm going down through the flat here, and then as I go up this hill on my Meteor, I usually end up shifting twice. So I might be in 4th here on my Meteor, and I'll have to shift to 3rd, and then I'll have to shift to 2nd. But here's real world power and torque. I just roll on the throttle a little bit, didn't shift gears, and powering right up this hill with not even a thought. So that's nice. It makes the ride a little more relaxing because you don't have to think about shifting all the time. Did the whole thing in 4th gear. Same thing here. We're going to go downhill. I'm in 3rd. Now I'm in 4th. And as I go up this hill, again, on my Meteor, I definitely could not climb this upcoming hill in 4th. But I'm going 50 right now in 4th. And this thing is not only going to not need to downshift, it actually can accelerate going up this hill. And there's your real world power and torque. The quality of this bike is spectacular. If you haven't seen a Royal Enfield in person, I would encourage you to find a dealer, go check them out. The quality's very good. I think, you know, people have this assumption it's made in India, it's inexpensive, it's no good, and the quality's, it's really good. The value is also very good. If you think about, you know, what you would pay for this and what you would pay for a 650 of another brand, like you know, a Yamaha, Suzuki, a Honda, or what you'd pay for, you know, a Harley Sportster, or even a, I don't know, Honda Rebel 500. The value is definitely there. I'll talk briefly about mileage. I've seen estimates, you know, about 100 for the 350. I don't think I get any more than 80 on mine, but and then this, I've seen numbers in the 50s. You know, I don't know. It uses so little gas that I don't think about the gas, but it is a factor. Brakes are very good. It has anti-lock brakes. You cannot turn them off. No complaints about the brakes. Let's step out here by the soybeans and talk about our final thoughts on the Meteor. I'll tell you what, it's been a real privilege to get to ride this Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. A special thanks to Matt at Williams Vintage Cycles in Xenia, Ohio, for letting me do this test drive. I'm curious, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. My bottom line for this is, if you have a Royal Enfield Meteor 350 and you're thinking of upgrading, this is an excellent bike to upgrade to. It's better in every way. It's got more power, more torque, stronger engine. It's heavier. It's a little bit more comfortable, and it's better. You know, it's just flat out better. Not to take away from the Meteor 350. I love my Meteor 350. I own one. I think it's a great bike. I'm not thinking of getting rid of it anytime soon. But I am starting to think that maybe this is my next bike, because this bike is really sweet. So listen, if you ever want to go for a ride in the country, but it's too hot, too cold, too wet, too dark, it's always nice right here on YouTube for a ride in the country.